I mean, did we really know the man? We have no idea what happened in the first, 50 years of his life. Just saying. Man could have been a freak, which I'm kind of down for. Hey guys, it's your girl Aisha, aka Geek XX Chic, and we are back with another reaction to Cobra Kai. We're now on season 6, episode 3, which is called Sleeper. So in the last episode, we got a little bit of the kids worrying about college. We saw that Johnny is trying to get his life together so he can be a proper provider for his new wife-to-be and baby mama, as well as his kids. And we also saw that Kreese has finally gotten to the point where he's gotten the help of his old sensei to win this Sekai Taikai with God knows whom. So we're going to go into this episode and see what's coming up next for our crew, and I'm excited, so let's do that. But just before I do, a reminder that if you'd like to be in the know of when I drop these episodes or anything else you're watching of mine, you can go ahead and hit that subscribe button as well as the notification bell. That way you'll be in the know. All right, that out of the way, let's get into the episode right now. Ooh, rude.
Wow.
We're amazing.
Guy flies in for the weekend to kill Terry Silver. Stays for another 3 months. That's normal, right?
We love him. It's fine.
You hoping for a boy or a girl?
Either way, I'm good.
Right answer. Don't open strange packages. Could be anthrax.
Is it taking?
Yeah, so why don't you take strange boxes into your house? If I didn't order nothing, I'm not gonna keep it.
What about Silver? I could see him pulling a Unabomber move like this. Don't move it.
Both of those people are crazy.
Or Murtaugh the Crapper and Lethal Weapon 2. The key is staying completely and totally.
Okay, and then we're all gonna blow up.
Package came early.
Guess
It's a girl. It's not even his kid.
Too old for this shit.
I agree. It's so unfair.
More demanding.
Oh, you mean you hurt the students? Yeah, we know how that goes.
Yoon Do-jin. His family has trained in Adojang for generations.
How is he? Oh, who's this badass? Look at the hair. Automatically villain. Can you not use words? Did we not speak?
Just go straight for head. No head, no fight.
No shortcuts.
Did they not just speak Korean in Korea?
Go and clean my grandfather's toilet.
100-year-old hits. He's just standing there, caught astray for no reason.
His rebelliousness is a distraction.
Well, yeah, you keep him as a student.
I will handle your distraction.
Oh, will you? Break another young mind. Anyway.
Yeah, my money's on Taiwan. You can get my Din Tai Fung going. There's a Din Tai Fung in Glendale.
Hey, your daughter's a pussy now. So is Nichols.
Last I checked,
Miyagi
right into it.
Fighting like a couple of girls.
They are girl.
Okay then, girl dad. Work your magic.
True. You have to learn how to deal with girls.
This should go well.
Not the same as boys. You can't just tell them to fight stuff.
Yeah, still feels weird to box up Mr. Miyagi's stuff,
It's
but
been a long time.
just temporary till you go back to Okinawa after the tournament, right?
Not going back to Okinawa.
You do know you need a visa to stay here, right? I think the maximum you can stay possibly is 6 months without a job and a visa.
What's that?
Uh-oh. Mr. Miyagi had bodies in the floor. I'd still love him anyway, but...
This belong to Miyagi-san.
I mean, we hope so.
You will give him your full respect and attention. Is that understood?
Hey! Yes, Sensei! Sorry, they. Wrong language.
A long time ago, I had a student. I trained him to be the best
You know,
of
I
the
thought
best.
we were done with Johnny. We're still obsessed?
He lost.
These kids are like, excuse me,
to
I
an
only speak a
insignificant,
small amount of English.
scrawny little runt.
Hangugol.
Because this opponent had more heart.
Oh, look at him finally giving Daniel recognition after 30 years.
Or killed their heart with strong kick to ribs.
I knew that was what was coming. Take the heart. He's like, no, this is the energy I want. I'm a psychopath. This kid's speaking my language.
Perhaps I need to show you just how serious I am.
He's like, Grandpa, I don't like to assault the elderly.
You made it. We're in the basement.
That's not the way to start a sentence. You know what? I'll come back.
Welcome to Miyagi-Do After Dark.
I don't think you should call it that.
Right?
Miyagi-Do nights.
Nope.
I figure since you two are friends now, we could have a girls' night.
We.
With you?
Hell yeah, I'm a girl dad now.
I mean, you guys.
Bought cookies and tampons and everything.
Cookies.
Put a bunch of high school girls in the basement, mixing a little gossip. Pretty soon you got something that makes Scarface look like Bambi.
Okay. Let's see. I think you need a few more girls, but he's not wrong, though. There's nothing like a girl fight. They are vicious.
If we open, we face truth.
Guys, this is Mr. Miyagi we're talking about.
I mean, did we
Also
really
the
know the
greatest
man?
man who ever lived.
We have no idea what happened in the first, 50 years of his life. Just saying. Man could have been a freak, which I'm kind of down for.
China.
There must be some amazing stories behind all of this stuff.
He did say his family was from China originally.
Kisuke Miyagi.
Kisuke Miyagi.
Miyagi-san had brother?
Did he?
Not that I know
Or
of.
is that his real name? Did you ever hear his first name?
691 Hill Street. If Mr. Miyagi did live there, maybe we can go find some answers.
Not you giving Mr. Miyagi a whole secret life, y'all. Them changing the idea of him being a saint, not such a bad thing, maybe.
아 뭐래? 내 정경을 원한다면 네가 오다지.
Kick him down the stairs. Oh,
All right,
no.
that's enough for today. Come back tomorrow at sunrise.
Not you falling. Bro, you stumbled 2 steps. You'll be okay.
Only through pain does a champion reveal himself.
Sis, I don't know why. Okay, you're gonna discover this man is insane. Psychopath, priest, psychopath, one and the same. Why are we bringing out the devil?
Want Sam to fall down a flight of stairs, breaking every single bone in her little body.
What?
B-I-T. What? Could have said bitchin'.
You're working a little too hard here, Johnny. If you really want to bring up rage, which you shouldn't, just talk about what happened. Let them actually get the feelings out, but we don't need to do this.
Hey, we're looking for the owner? Fuck off.
Okay.
Friendly place.
Right? Warm.
Based on the welcoming committee, it's good that we have a wild card.
Right? These people look like they want to fight, and they think they can, so.
Daniel-san, we have runner. Let's go.
Why are we chasing?
Exactly! Bro, he has a passport, not a badge.
Yeah, this one's my fault.
Yeah, it was. It was. He should have known better with these two.
Cross Hill Street and up Frank.
What? We're running plays now?
Chosen's bored. It's your fault for not getting him a hobby.
Police brutality, man.
Not no
cops.
mean.
Miyagi.
Yes, and?
Have faith, Lee. I know how girls think.
No, you don't.
Just takes
You've
one.
never,
little
ever, ever had a clue how women think.
What is it?
Where's a text from Miguel?
What does it say?
At the same time,
Drop the zero and
Get with the hero.
Miguel would never, ever say that. Johnny, you live with him.
We just wanted to help you get your edge back, so things can go back to the way they used to be.
You think things were better when we hated each other's guts?
A little bit.
I am Miyagi-Do. Look, we're inside with pillows and chocolates and air conditioning.
Facts.
I can't believe that didn't work.
Because you don't know how women work. You would have actually gotten somewhere if you just left the phone call from Miguel or from Robbie. Just left it. Because they would have just let that spin for a couple days.
I think you can be one of the most terrifying fighters in the Sekai Taikai.
Prime for being humbled.
뭐 하자는 거야? 난 아직 안 끝났어. 씨.
Sorry. I watch way too many K-dramas. These accents are so interesting.
그게 무서운 거야. 다 예측할 수 있구만.
He's not wrong.
계속 말해봐, 개새끼.
Even I could have told you that form was sloppy. Why are you looking surprised? You could have stopped him 3 moves ago. Anyway, that's the kind of students you want. Don't even look that direction, sis. He's been crazy. And so is your grandpa, apparently, too. So, anyway.
Well, he and my grandfather were bros. The way my pop-pop used to tell it, this gym wouldn't have been possible without Miyagi.
Yeah, that sounds like him.
When people have fake documents, it's usually because they're hiding something. At least that's what I've heard.
Right, that makes
Mr.
sense.
Miyagi had nothing to hide.
You sure, Daniel, you didn't know that man?
Heard something about a robbery. Beat the shit out of some mope. Needed my pop-pop to help him get lost, if you know what I mean.
You just carried that around with you, bro? Okay.
I heard he stole some pricey necklace. Wow.
I'm sure there was a reason for it, though, Daniel. It's probably stolen. Maybe it's his wife's necklace or something. Guy stole it. Miyagi beat the crap out of him and got it back.
Pop-Pop said he trusted Miyagi with his life.
That sounds like Mr. Miyagi.
I wish I had more I could tell you.
How dare you not be 90 years old and know this full story?
I know that was a huge mistake, but it was like over a year ago.
So what? That makes it okay?
Bitch.
Little Miss Perfect Larissa.
You attacked me at school.
You attacked me at prom.
You broke into my house. You put me in the hospital.
Here we go.
You started this whole thing.
I'm so excited. I hate it.
First time we ever met, you accused me of stealing your mom's wallet. And even after you learned that it wasn't me, you never apologized.
Oh, so that gives you the right to terrorize her physically after that.
As soon as I connected with someone, you had to come in and ruin that.
Oh, poor you. I don't feel sorry.
You're right. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry too. Things went too far, and if I'm being honest, it was my fault.
That is the most honest thing you've said
I can't
ever since you showed
believe what
up.
I did to your arm.
Good. That's what we should have heard 4 seasons ago.
I really am sorry.
Good. You should be. Sorry, Johnny.
I don't know what's worse. Finding out he hurt someone or...
Daniel, I'm sorry, bro, but respectfully...
Miyagi-san was good man.
Yeah.
He was good man.
Everyone has made a bad step or two, Daniel. Everyone.
Out of a million.
It's one that he kept from me.
Yeah.
Just like everything
Because
else.
you don't need to know everything about his life, bro.
We keep things from our kids, don't we?
Right? You gonna tell him every little bad thing you've ever done?
The best we can do is make the most of the time we have with the people we love while they're here.
Exactly. Can't change the past now anyway. And more importantly, Miyagi got away with it. Like, that's pretty baller.
Make most of time.
You gonna try calling Kimiko one more time? Sober? That helps.
To defeat an opponent who fights with heart by being heartless.
Okay.
Because your opponents will throw everything they've got at you.
Then we give them no mercy, Sensei.
They already know your tricks too.
No more distractions.
Very impressive.
Is it?
But there's still one more piece of the puzzle left.
Now what? Thank you. Girls settle things differently, Johnny.
It's like I always say, girls are easy.
Yeah, no, Johnny, no. Still stressing about this, Daniel?
I know there must be more to this story.
Mr. Miyagi.
You had your reasons.
Exactly. Or maybe he didn't. It's okay. Either
Why
way.
didn't you tell me the truth?
It's not your business, Daniel.
Who's ready to find out where we're going for the Sky Kai?
Congratulations.
California!
Will be held in Barcelona, Spain.
Okay. Can you all afford to go there?
And each dojo must select 6 fighters to compete.
Only 6?
Exactly does that mean?
There's only 6 of you going.
It means we don't all get to go.
It's expensive. Flying all 30 of you to Spain? Who doing that? Sorry, extras. Maybe next time. All right, guys. Well, that was yet another episode where we're kind of tying some things up, wrapping things up with some of the, shall we say, old wounds that have been sitting around with this show or these people in the show for a long time. You know, episode 1 was the senseis and, well, somewhat the beginning of the path with the girls. Episode 2 was the boys kind of settling out and just making sure everything's good for the future, as well as Kreese making peace with himself. And now this episode, we're noticing that with Tori and Sam, there was still some residual stuff. Like, they were being nice, but it was like there was still like this wall that was there that, you know, they hadn't dealt with, which we saw dealt with in this episode. And I think, you know, that's a good thing. Hilariously, you know, Johnny saying him saying that he knows how girls think, which we all know is a joke because he does not. But anyway, him trying to do all these things that would normally set boys off, but not working with the girls. But inevitably we see that, you know, just the right phrase finally kicks off. And I said that, right? I said, you just need something like, if Johnny was a girl or thought like a girl, he would know that it would be more of a word thing. With women, it's usually something you say, a little snide remark, a little side comment. That's the kind of stuff that sets us off. You know what I'm saying? That's the kind of stuff that'll usually get us into a spiral. And we saw that at the end of the night when Tori made when Sam made the joke about stealing my boyfriend or something like that. And Sam's like, or Tori's like, yeah, you've tried it before. Like I said, the snide remark, and then it kicks off into the real nitty gritty. They finally get into how this whole thing started. And I know some of you who are Tori fans are going to come after me for this, but I've always said I'm not a fan of Tori. I'm not a fan of her character. The actress is lovely. I have no issues with her. It's the character I'm not a fan of. I never have been. I personally feel like to this day, they still could have kept Aisha. They did not need to bring Tori in. To me, it was just a weird addition to the cast. I said what I said. But anyway, yes, we hear that Sam from way back when she accused Tori of stealing, that's true. She had no right to do that. She didn't know Tori from a hole in the wall, and she should have apologized when she realized it was not the case. Don't think that justified Tori going to the lengths that she did over the next 2 seasons to physically assault her, and even at one point, let's face it, try to hospitalize or worse. Like, we can't forget, she took a chunk out of that girl's arm and tried to push her over a railing. Like, no, I'm sorry. Just accusing someone of stealing, someone looking down on you is not enough reason to try to like put them in the hospital or worse. So yeah, I'm sorry. Those things are not equal to me. And that's why I said for this day, we never heard Tori actually apologize or take accountability until today. In which case, in this episode, for the first time in all these seasons, the writers heard me. And I'm not alone, because I saw a lot of other people felt the way that I did. She finally said, you know what? I feel sick about what I did to your arm. It was way too much. I shouldn't have done it. Absolutely. That's what we should have gotten 2-3 seasons ago. That's why I never could get behind Tori. I'm like, she still feels justified in what she's doing. This is my problem. So I am thankful that we heard that. I'm glad that for her character, she finally acknowledged that she went too damn far and that she should feel sorry and that she definitely owed Sam the deepest of apologies for doing that, because she went too far. There's no if, ands, or buts. Sam did nothing close to deserving what happened in that situation. And it could have been worse. She's lucky that all she got was Sam's arm, right? So anyway, glad that they have that out of the way though. And you know, hilariously, Johnny thought he was going to turn into like they're going to hate each other, but thankfully Sam took the Miyagi-Do principle, and rather than letting that rile her up, she apologized, and that allowed Tori to drop her walls and apologize as well. So now all of it's out in the open, all of it is cleared, all of it is aired, and now neither of them have to worry about potentially setting the other off. And really, I think that's what kept them from fighting properly before, because both of them are still kind of on eggshells about what might trigger the other. So now that it's all out on the table, everything's been acknowledged, they can finally actually move forward as friends and as fellow karate mates, whatever you want to call it, and they can do what they need to do. So that's good. We now have that rift gone. So all the boys are on the same page. Now all the girls are on the same page. So thankfully, Miyagi-Do no longer has any issues within their team, which is what we need, because this thing's going to kick off soon. And when they go up against what Kreese is building, they need to have a cohesive team. So thankfully that was done. And I feel like, yeah, it was dealt with. And I think it was dealt with in a way that we need. And yeah, it's kind of quick, but we're in the last season, so I'm okay with that. Outside of that, we also had Daniel discovering that he does not know everything there is to know about Mr. Miyagi. And I think this is hilarious because it kind of goes into that expression of, you know, be careful what happens when you meet your heroes. We all know that Daniel puts Mr. Miyagi on a pedestal, right? Like that man could do no wrong to Daniel. And it's sweet, you know, because Miyagi is someone who is understandably very important to Daniel. You know, if you watch the films, you know that that really was his father figure, right? Because Daniel lost his dad very young, and Mr. Miyagi was the first father figure he had after that. And their relationship was just so deep and so precious to Daniel on so many levels because of how it really kind of saved him from God knows what. Honestly, I think Daniel would have had a really rough go of it if it hadn't been for Mr. Miyagi. But anyway, in Daniel's mind, he's always just thought Mr. Miyagi was just the pinnacle of virtue, you know, that he just was a complete and perfect example of the tenets that he taught. But the man lived a long life. Like Daniel seems to forget that Mr. Miyagi was, I think we can say, was in his either late 40s or early 50s when Daniel met him. Point being, he was a grown-ass man. He lived a whole life before he even met Daniel. So for Daniel to think that he knew everything about this man was a little arrogant, a little short-sighted, honestly. And I really like the fact that his wife said to him later on, she's like, you know, we didn't tell our kids everything. We're probably never going to tell our kids everything about us. That doesn't mean that we're not who we say we are, that we're not good people, right? And that's the way it goes. Like, you know, all of us, most of us anyways, know who our parents are. And even though we grew up with our parents and we feel like we know them, our parents had X amount of time, you know, however old your parents were when they had you, all that time happened before you were born. You have no idea what happened before then. Whatever they tell you happened is what happened, but You don't know. There's probably, if you scratch that, there's probably a lot of things that you will never know about your parents' life. And it's because it's theirs to keep, right? Mr. Miyagi's life was his own. And even though he loved Daniel and considered him to be family, that doesn't mean that Daniel had the right to have all access to his life, especially the parts of it that maybe Mr. Miyagi was not comfortable with or was ashamed of, or maybe hadn't fully reconciled either. And just because someone did something at some point or acted a certain way at some point does not mean it's going to dictate who they are forever. And I think it's important to note that, like, even though Mr. Miyagi may have done these things that maybe he did, it sounds like it's a definite. He assaulted somebody, he stole something. Again, even if he did mean to do those things, it doesn't mean that that's who he was when he met Daniel or how he lived his life until he died, which was clearly a much different lifestyle, right? He was a very peaceful, calm, loving, empathetic man afterwards. And the reality is, in this life, none of us are completely clean. None of us have no stains. We have all done things we shouldn't have done, whether it was intentional or not, but it doesn't mean that's who we are. There are people who have done really bad things in their past who've lived the rest of their lives doing their best to atone and do better, even though they know they can't change what happened. And I feel like if Mr. Miyagi did do these things on purpose, it looks like he spent the bulk of the rest of his life trying to be and do better. And again, does that erase what it did to that person that he assaulted? No, but he did the best that he could do, right? And again, we heard it, right? That man said, his grandfather said that Mr. Miyagi was a great man, a good man, and he trusted him with his life. That, I feel like, has been a theme throughout his life. You look at the movies, everyone who ever talks about Miyagi thought he was a trustworthy, kind, and empathetic person. Daniel clearly felt that way. The kids who remember Mr. Miyagi felt that way. You get the point. So I do think that intrinsically Mr. Miyagi has always been a good man, but every person has got their moments, right? So anyways, I thought it was interesting to see that Daniel's struggling with this, because again, he had Mr. Miyagi in this pedestal in his mind, and now seeing that maybe it was not so pedestal worthy. I mean, that's just a reality, right? As much as we might love someone in our lives, they probably have some things about them that they would rather you not know, or if you do know, they're not proud of, but that doesn't take away from the fact that they were great and that they're great to us. So anyway, very interesting thing here, and very interesting for them to bring this in now. But my guess is the reason that they're bringing in this new layer to Mr. Miyagi so late in the game is because it's going to be something that's going to tie into a lesson for the kids that they're going to need to take to the Sekai Taikai. Because as we see, Kreese has got himself some new students, and of course there's always got to be the bad student, right? Kreese always has to have one student that's angry and misguided and looking for somewhere to vent, and he's just drawn to that like a moth to a flame. So now we have this guy, I can't remember his name is, but he's the bad kid. He's got anger, he's got the lack of control issues, and of course, this Kreese is like, that's the best one. That's the one I want to have leading my team. And he's basically giving this kid license to act on all of his worst violent impulses. So he's going to be so much fun in the tournament. But as I said in the episode, he's ripe for the humbling. And we have no doubt that someone on Miyagi-Do is going to be that person. Who it's going to be, I'm not sure. It might be Robbie, might be Miguel. We'll have to find out. But either way, kid's got to go down. And we'll have to see what happens with that. Kreese obviously is going to go up against Johnny one last time. Not physically, obviously. But I feel like it's good because they can finally put that to rest. I feel like that's going to be the last culminating. This whole season's been about reconciliations or putting things to bed. I feel like Kreese and Johnny are the last two pieces of that puzzle. And somehow at the end of the Sekai Taikai, they're either going to sever it once and for all, or Kreese is going to recognize that this path that he's been on for like 60 years is the wrong one, and maybe actually try to do a little bit better going forward. Because I do think Johnny still wants Kreese in his life if Kreese can drop this whole no mercy nonsense, right? Because even though he clearly knows Kreese is bad news, we've seen in previous seasons that he still very much misses that fatherly connection he had with him. So I think if there's any way to resolve that or get it back, Johnny will probably try to have it. But again, Kreese is on the run from the States, so I don't know how that's going to work anyway. So it might just end up being a thing where they finally sever ties and like decide to let each other go. But anyway, I feel like that's what we have coming at the end of the road, which is coming very soon, sadly. But yeah, another good episode. Like that we got those things resolved. Oh, we also see that Chosen is going back to Japan. He's finally ready to face whatever it is he's trying to hide from Kumiko, which I think is a good thing, because hiding out in LA forever was not going to work anyways. But yeah, that was kind of a nice little moment for him as well. So yeah, good episode. Enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoyed watching along with me. If you did, please show some love, and I will see you in the next one.